and dance to that music for no more or no less than 3 minutes. Just 3 minutes. Wow. I can guarantee that 3 minutes after you start doing that, your mood will be changed. The second little tool, and this is something very silly but very, very powerful. Fake it till you make it, we say in English. Smile for 3 minutes, even if you don't feel like smiling. Just create that gesture in your mouth. Just pretend to be smiling non-stop for 3 minutes. Just be in your house, forcing your face to smile. Why? Because the human brain is stupid. It is very, very binary. If you make that gesture with your mouth, if you pretend to be smiling for 3 minutes, your brain will believe you're actually really smiling and will start releasing those chemicals too. And if you not only smile, but force laughter, even if you don't feel like laughing at all because you are depressed, but if you force yourself to doing it for 3 minutes, I guarantee your mood will change. Try these tools. They're very simple, very easy. Everyone can use them, even children.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because I think a lot of us out there, Jessica, think that, if you don't feel like laughing, you don't feel like moving, we don't have to feel like doing these things. But the action of doing them creates the emotion we want. So it's amazing, the simplicity there. I love it.
Well, that's part of what we try to do in Humanology. We try to offer tools that are really usable, easy to use, that people can use on their own. Because the whole trick is this. Human beings need to understand whom they are, and they need to be able to take control of their own beings. They need to be able to understand the components of their beings and control them themselves. They can be working with a humanologist, with a coach, with a mentor, with a psychologist their whole lives. That's not it. They have to be able to control their own personal spheres. That's one of the elements of the human being, where we treasure everything that is uniquely ours. And nobody can change but us.
Amazing. Yeah, that's brilliant. I love that. Love that. Thank you, Jessica.
My pleasure, Louise.
So here I am smiling and laughing, but that's because it is infectious, it really is. When people smile, it's actually contagious, isn't it? A smile is contagious. When you see people smiling, it is actually, we do mirror those neurons, and it is really contagious. So
and that's only smiling. Imagine laughing is even more powerful.
Yeah.
Because you release oxytocin. As soon as you see other people smiling or laughing and you start smiling yourself, it's because oxytocin is starting to be in your bloodstream, just circulating there.
It's just reminding ourselves to do this. And, however sad you might feel right now, just try it. Just try that smile. Just try that forced laughter, or just moving, just moving around, getting yourself moving there. Great tips, very, very simple, but the simple things work, because when they become too complicated, we just shove them aside and we tend not to do them. So that's fantastic. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Louise.
So I'm going to move on now to, this is very interesting. What story do you tell yourself? Because the stories that we tell ourselves, become our life stories. And Jessica points out very clearly here, we need to choose very carefully. So what is this about this internal dialogue, this internal story, Jessica?
In fact, that is the title of another one of my books. This is a little practical book that everyone can use and apply in their own lives. I use the simile of movies of the cinema industry because I find it very revealing and very easy to apply and use. The premise here is that we all choose to write a script of our lives and direct the movie of our lives and interpret the main role in our lives in a certain way. If we compare it to the different cinematographic genres, we see that most people live a type of life that somehow matches and somehow resembles movie styles. So, How many of you have ever met someone whose personal life is a drama? Oh, why does this happen to me? Why is this always like this? Oh my, why am I always so abused and so ill-treated? Oh, why is life against me? Haven't you met people like that? People who even have good news immediately transformed into drama? Oh yes, this good thing happened, but I'm sure it's going to turn against me. I'm sure it's going to... Come on! If you tell yourself that your life is a drama movie, it will for sure become a drama movie. There are other people whose movies are comedies. Haven't you ever met someone who laughs at everything and finds amusement in everything? Oh yeah. Someone falls in the street and they just start cracking up because they find it really hilarious. Or they never take anything seriously and they just go about their lives having fun and not really taking anything seriously. Of course, there are combined genres. You can find docudramas in movies. You can find romantic comedies in movies. And people also have those shared genres. In my experience, and having worked with thousands of people, most people have only one or maximum two genres in their lives. They don't have a multitude of genres. It is true that they can have moments of other genres in their lives, but there's always a prevailing genre or two prevailing genres. So, for example, let's go through other genres. The horror movie. People who live in abusive relationships, who are victims, who are being harassed or victims of violence, for example, are living a horror movie. Their whole lives evolve around: when is the next blow going to come? Where from? When am I going to suffer again? And they're on edge all day long, completely terrorized and terrified. And their lives become a horror movie. There's other people whose lives are an adventure movie. My own life is an adventure movie. I lived in 7 different countries. I was a teacher, then I became a simultaneous interpreter, working with the best of the best in every possible field in life. I translated for Nobel laureates, for film directors, for scientists, kings, presidents. I met everyone and learned about everything. But then I had my car accidents and I had to sell my company and I became a humanologist and I started writing books. So my life is an adventure movie. But the key to this concept of what story do you tell yourself is that you tell yourself the story. You are the script writer, you are the director, you are the main character, and you decide what roles all the other characters in your movie play. So what kind of movie do you want to tell yourself? This little book explains how to do it, how to change your genre, how to change your story. I can't give you all the tools right now because there's no time for this, but the mere idea that you can take control of your story is very empowering. You can change your story. First ask yourself, so what story do I tell myself? What kind of movie am I living? And is this the type of movie I want to live? Is it truly the kind of life I want to have? Louise, what movie do you live?
What, years ago or right now?
Right now, of course. Or you can tell us years ago. It's up to you.
Years ago, my movie would have been quite dark. It would have been full of blame. It would have been the poor me syndrome. It would have been what disaster's going to happen next. I had quite a negative outlook in life. There was a lot of blame inside of me, a lot of resentment. Not a good movie. Quite a sad movie. When I look at my old movies... Sorry?
It sounds like a drama.
Yeah, absolute drama. And I caused drama. I caused absolute drama. And I totally believe that the drama I was causing in my mind came out physically for me with skin cancer. And I had a very serious hysterectomy, a very messy operation. And I'm really certain, because it was all at the same kind of time, that this was all because of the drama, absolutely. But it wasn't a good drama. It was always ending in disasters, and it was always, it was a black and white movie. When I look back, it was very there was never any sunshine, never any color. It was a very drudging, bleak movie, you know?
Yeah, I know the types.
Yeah, it was not good. But my movie now, is action-packed. It is all about high energy, and I'm so with you with energy. One of the biggest things for me is to create energy, because when we have energy, we can do so much with it. When we have that, high impact, positive energy, we can actually start creating what it is we want. So now the movie is very coloured, very brightly coloured, very vivid, but with a lot going on. There's a lot of bits and pieces going on. So it's exciting now. It's exciting.
Would you say it's a thriller or an adventure movie?
I think adventure. Thriller is probably a little bit fast moving, and maybe, I'd say it's definitely an adventure movie. And I'm taking what I've really noticed with the change in this, if we're talking about the stories we tell ourselves, is I'm willing to take a lot more risks. That is the biggest key. Whereas before I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to stay in my comfort of my misery and my drama. I wanted to stay in the drama.
Of course.
Because it had a secondary gain. You see, staying in that drama meant I was, pitying. I wanted the pity. I wanted people to feel sorry for me. Whereas now, the adventure movie, I'm willing to take risks. Yeah, it's still really scary. But I'm able to take those risks. And you talked about the energy before. And that's partly because I've got the energy to take the risks, You've got to have energy to do stuff. Otherwise, you just sit on the couch all day.
Yeah, but see, there's two things you said there that somehow confirm what I was explaining. You said, there's a secondary gain in the drama movie because then people feel sorry for you. Well, that is the role you're giving them. Yeah. You need to play that role so you can continue living your drama. But then you say, no, wait, I want to live this adventure movie. Of course, it entails risk. How can you have an adventure movie without risks?
Exactly.
Then there's no adventure. I mean, it's part of the script. Yeah, really. You see? So this little metaphor helps people realize what story they're living because they're choosing to tell themselves that story.
Yeah. And Jessica, it was really when I came to the point that I am choosing, excuse me, because I was full of blame. It was always everybody else's issue, whatever it was, whether it was health, whether it was money, whether it was my relationships. It was never me, It was always something else going wrong in my life. And the day I said, right, I'm actually driving this, is the day that you can change it. Because unless you become responsible, you can't change it, can you?
Completely. That's exactly what I said before in Humanology. The main goal is to give you the reins of your life back. Put them into your hands. You are directing your movie, not us. And the only thing we're doing is we're giving you the control. We're giving it back to you because you have to write the script and direct your own movie.
Yeah, that's and I think many people don't even realize that. And by really tapping in and looking at the story, the story that you're telling yourself, is it all about somebody else? Or is that story really about the action you're taking? And are you choosing to be in that space?
That's the reason I wrote that book, precisely to make people aware that they are the ones in power. They are the ones creating everything.
Yeah, exactly. So very important, wonderful message there, Jessica. What story are you telling yourself? And, Jessica's just given me the opportunity to share my stories, very, very different stories, but they were very much part of me, and I was living both of them and believed in both of them, for a long time. But the story I'm living now is amazing compared to how I was.
I would like to add that there's no right or wrong in choosing one story over another one. If a person needs to live a drama movie, that's fine by me. It's their lives. They choose to live that. If they want to live a horror movie because of whatever reason, that's fine by me as well. But they have to be able to choose. They have to be aware that they are doing the choosing. And that is the goal of the whole book. If you choose to live a certain type of movie, like, for example, a thriller, many executives, high executives in companies live thriller movies. They're always on edge and they're always running around and they're always looking for new challenges and new etc. So they choose to live that movie. But the question here is, did